what rules are there when it comes to communicating that safety message? And my belief is there are no rules when it comes to communicating a safety message except for one. There's only one rule, and that is it needs to be appropriate in the workplace. Now, it's not about being politically correct, okay? I don't know how many people in this room had enough politically correct nonsense that you want to throw up. It's like, give me a break, I've had enough of this nonsense. But it's not about being politically correct, it's about being effective. If you, like, if I were to say something that's inappropriate, let's say I use a phrase or a word that's upsetting Linda, and it violates your values. At that point, Linda is now thinking to herself, why did he say that? Okay? He should know better than that. He's a professional. He shouldn't have said that in front. Now he said it in front of my employees. By the way, the whole time that she's thinking, why did he say that? How much of my message is she hearing? None. She's having what we call an internal dialogue. She's talking to herself, going, he's an idiot. And by the way, you'd be right. Right? Now, there's another thing that I think is the real issue. When you do something, I was speaking in one location, it was a construction company. The safety person came to me. If you've got any, risque jokes you tell or dirty jokes you tell, this is the crowd to tell them. They love them. And of course, I didn't tell any like that. Why not? Because in that group of construction workers, I know there's probably a couple people that are offended by those jokes. But they're not going to raise their hand, right? They're not going to go, excuse me, I wish we wouldn't tell jokes like that, because what would happen? All the other people would tease them about it. Oh, Miss Goody Two-Shoes, Linda, doesn't want to see the other jobs. She's such a... Okay, and that does what? Creates more of a pain for you, right? So you're not going to raise your hand and complain, because you'd get hassled by people. But once again, if I violate that rule, she's no longer paying attention. She's talking to herself. By the time she comes back to the conversation, the real danger when you use something that's inappropriate is if you're talking about safety at this level here, and when you started speaking, they have this level of opinion of you. If all of a sudden I do something that violates your values, now you're thinking of me at this level. You know the problem? Somebody at this level is not going to convey anything any more valuable than that. Anything I have to say is at this level. So that safety concept that's very important now is down here as far as how important it is to Linda. So just by making something inappropriate, it's not about being politically correct, it's about being effective. So think, when you're doing something, ask yourself, hey, is this appropriate? Is there somebody that could be offended by this? And if there is, then I would alter it to make sure that you're not causing somebody to be offended and then not listen to you. A couple other things I do. I never mention race or gender unless it's important. If I were going to talk about, there's a story I do in my Would You Watch Out for My Safety talk. There's a person pumping gas. I was telling you about that. You will not know who was pumping the gas, whether it was a male or a female. Because it's not important, right? It doesn't matter whether it was a male pumping the gas or a female, and if I say one or the other, I could be what? Causing that group of people to think I'm speaking pejoratively of them. And so I never mention it.
Don't miss out. Be sure to hit the red button on the lower right and subscribe. That way, every time we release a video, you'll be aware of it.